Hello everybody and welcome back to Satisfactory. I'm Drawing Cass and I'm somewhat of a expert builder, a little bit of a design master if you would say, but that is because I've played this game for many thousands of hours and I've tried a lot of crazy things in my time. But I want to give some tips out to you guys so that you can build kind of like how I do, but in your own unique way. So, welcome to this nice video where I'm going over a bunch of different tips that should help you build and create whatever massive structure to dominate the whole landscape or whatever, or something little and compact, whatever your building type is. I hope that these tips come to you and, you find some use in them. But anyway, with that being said, let's get on with the video. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, tip number one is, did you know that if you hold control, there is a world grid? No one cares about the world grid. No, the real tip is we're using beams for power. Check this out. Look at all these wonderful machines. If I wanted to power them, normally I would take a power line, put this here, and get a power pole that is now in the way. Well, if you take a metal beam right here, look at that. It looks like it's going underneath there, right? And then if we get it all the way across, we can take our power lines, click them right here, and have them going right down. The best part about this is when they're all together, you can connect one to connect it to the other one to connect it there, and now it looks like it's underneath all the machines and kind of hidden away. This is one of the strongest ways to do power. The nice thing about this too is it actually works really well for all the machines. Check this one out. This is the assembler. We'll click it right here and we'll have you going all the way across. Then we'll come back over here, grab ourselves a wire, and then we're going to do the same exact thing. Now, depending on where you want it, for like something like this, you could have this right in the middle, or you can have it right up against there. Either way is fine. It works. Now, as for the refineries, because unfortunately having them going through there when the power line is in the front, I just kind of ended up putting those in the front because having the line going across here, it looks fine. Grab ourselves a power line and then bring it just straight down. Now, here's the thing. You could grab yourselves a beam and put it through if you would like to. The only thing I think about this is when we clip it and all that, it kind of goes through there. So the one in the front is the better way to do it. And then of course we have stuff like our lovely blenders, which this one is more towards the back. So I would hit the back piece going across there. And then I would connect it going down. And then of course can't forget the manufacturers, which have it right here in the front. And we can do the same thing going all the way across. Now, as you can see, some of them come along really perfectly and fit really well, but unfortunately you'll have some that are just slightly off. The best way to fix that is if you take a nice wall and then you want to grab into a pillar, you can bring the pillar out and then click the wall again. As you can see, it kind of just goes along the pillar. So you just want to get it like perfect, and this is for people that are like really OCD and want everything just right. Then we'll go down and then we'll go across, and as you can see right now, it fits perfectly. We got it exactly where it needs to go. Then of course we just get rid of the pus and you're set. Next up, tip number 72 is if we have these water extractors, as you can see, we can put them anywhere we want, but if we hold control, nothing happens. But if you want to, you can actually build foundations, so you only have to turn these in groups of 4. So like the 4 different directions, north, south, east, or west, depending on which angle the lovely foundation is at. But they snap right to it, which is really great if you want to have this right up against the edge. And then you can go to your logistics, you can grab a pipeline junction cross, and you have it set perfectly. So what we did right here is we had a 1 meter foundation on the bottom of this 4-1, and now we have a 2 meter foundation, and if I put in a water extractor, I can actually grab this and show you that it gives us the same height going across, see that much gap, that this one has over here. So even if you did a 1 meter one versus a 2 meter one, it does not change the heights, unfortunately. Well, getting back into our power, if we grab our power lines, the only problem with these things is if we hit it right here, yes, we'll have it right in the center so we can keep it nice OCD. But unfortunately, with the way that it's set up, is that's going to be where our pipes are at, and we sometimes don't want that. But what you can do is you can aim for right here on the side and everything. Now you have no clipping going across the side over here. And then you can just have this going on the side over here. Come on. It'll be better aimed right here. There we go. And now you have all the lines going around the edge. And it's nice and OCD right in the center, which really helps a lot of people, I know. Alright, on to tip 7.5, and it is using beams once again. Did you know that you can use beams as a tape measure? If you check it out, look at this, 6 meters. That is how tall this constructor is. Unless I want it to go higher than this, and then I can actually go right here, figure out, 8 meters will cut off just the edge, but 9 meters will be perfect if I want some height from the ceiling. And I can do the same thing from any point of this, so I can figure out exactly where I want this. So this is 11 meters going up, or I can figure out how big the bounding box is. How big the nice little box is around here. So this is a 15 by, 10. So this is a 2/3 kind of ratio, where this one right here is an 8 by 10. Oh, that's 10? So that thing is as wide as that? Huh. I didn't even know that. And how big is our beautiful manufacturer? That goes all the way to a 20 by 18. Wow. So you can use that as a decent way of figuring out, like measuring up what everything is. Just like I can do this, and I can go up and I can figure out exactly 30 meters all the way to the top of this nice little smokestack. Whereas if I wanted to figure out what the top one is for right here, that would be about 21 meters to have this up. Alright, on to tip C minus 2 square root of 7 equals 8. You want to use blueprints, and the best part about blueprints is we can actually set ourselves up with a foundation. Just one foundation. Because yes, you can use the world grid to have a foundation on there, and then what you can do is you can go to blueprints and you can grab yourself a regular blueprint foundation snapping point, and you can put this right on top of there. Then if you hit R, you have a blueprint snapping area. So now if I want, I can snap it to any which way, just like a normal foundation. Now that's great and all for a simple foundation, but it also works really well, so if I'm doing something else like a 4-column, I can have it snap to it instead of just kind of, sliding around. And a good 1 meter foundation is really good for that. But another tip is with foundations is how to make a rounded foundation blueprint. So what you're going to do is you're going to start off with a nice little plus sign. Then you're going to grab the top and you're going to aim it at the very top in the center. You're going to hold Control, and then you're going to use the mouse wheel and you're going to scroll it 1, 2, or 3. So 1, 2, or 3. Then what you want to do is you want to keep covering over the center, and you're going to keep clicking it, making sure that it doesn't get out of whack. And then you can go to vertical, and you can bring it all the way down until it makes a nice, beautiful circle. And you can get rid of the one in the center, and you have yourself a nice little rounded area. And now because I have this foundation as a snapping point, I can go to my blueprints, 1, 2, or 3. We'll do the 3 tick because it's fastest and easy to understand. You click it, you have that out there, and now if I want to make myself a rounded area, I have it all ready to go. So, easiest way to understand is if I go to default, I can click there, click there, click there. Done, done, done. And as you can see, I have a beautiful rounded edge. Now the 3 tick one is going to go out 1, 2, 3. If I go out any further, unfortunately, it's going to start having gaps in between it. And that is where the other ones come into play. And we'll do something like the 2 tick one. Snap that right into place. And as you can see, it'll give us a nice smoother edge, and this will go even further out. So this one right here is going to go out 5 from the center. That means that the final one is going to be even further than that, 10. Look how far this goes, and just leaves just a little bit of gap depending on how you feel about that. And if you change the materials up, you might be okay with that. So if you want something like this, if you want a bit smaller one, or if you want this one over here, depending on how big your circle is, it depends on how big of a tick you want to go. So the smaller the tick, the bigger the circle. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on to some wall ideas. What tip are we on? 47? Sure, 47. Tip number 47 is, did you know that you can actually use, what are these, road barriers? Let's say I want a wall in the middle of here instead of just snapping on the side. So unfortunately, normally I would have it here. What you can do is you can hit, road barrier, put that there, grab a wall and hold control, and you can replace it with an actual wall. And this is really easy if you want things in just the right spot, or if you want something where it's at a diagonally, and you can just have it kind of going in there. The nice part about this as well is you can snap it to the edges, so if you want it just on the edge because you want to get it just right, or you want it on the top, either way. So let's say I put it on the top right here, get rid of here, and then I want to do something like grab myself a decent wall going over here, and now I have a little glass wall as not like a railing, but as a well, I guess, yeah, kind of like a railing. Next up is trying to figure out how to make ourselves something besides bland walls. Now normally when you make a wall, you're just gonna just scoot it on over here, and a wall like this is pretty bland and boring. Nobody wants a wall like this, unfortunately. Nice thing you can do is you can play around with variety. So let's switch over to this one right here. Alright, so instead of a straight concrete or whatever kind of wall you want, you can actually just, change it up, do some different types. And then we'll get rid of this over here. And how about, oh yeah, let's do this. And then we can add some glass in here, add you on the top, and then we'll do the same thing that we had over here, this one as well as this one. And now we have ourselves a different pattern, and we can change things up however we want. So if I want to change this up to this kind of thing, and if you hold control, you can replace these windows, walls, and all that kind of stuff with different ones. Check out different ways of doing it. Another thing you can do is, if we go over to our pillars, we can use pillars to add depth. So let's say I grab a big concrete pillar, I can aim it right here on the corner and zoop it up on the top, and this will add myself a nice frame going all the way up there. And if I wanted to, I can hold control right down here. Well, let's get this right. And I can have this going all the way across over here. Now granted, that gets rid of some of the stuff that I had, but I can build myself a frame within a frame and give myself some extra depth. If I wanted to as well, I can add in a smaller one too, and kind of get that one right here for just that extra bit that if I wanted to. I mean, this will be up to you on however you see fit. I mean, you can also do stuff like this, and just in the glass part that can add on to it as well. Going across, and then a little bit over here, and a little bit over here. And then you can have yourself decent size windows and walls and all that kind of stuff. And it really adds depth compared to the, straight one type going all the way across. Another way to build walls is, if we go over here, we can actually go into the half foundations, and we can put them any which way we want. So if we want to go right in the middle, so we have a little bit on each side, or if we want to go all the way to the edge, we can as well. And you can use half foundations as, well, thicker walls and stuff like that. And what you can do is you can switch up the type of material that they're at, so you can actually have a different variety going across it as well. So we can have that. And the nice thing about this is, because of the way that they're set up, you can have a different variety on one side compared to the other. And let's say that I don't want this look over here. What I can do is I can create another wall on the other side and mess around with that. Let's do, how about this one right here? So now I have a different wall on this side and a different wall on that side. And then this could be like the inside or the outside, depending on what I want to do. And, you know, I can mix it up a little bit more on any of this stuff and, you know, just kind of go with it and see what I can kind of come up with. The nice thing about this is there are plenty of different opportunities and different ways that you can make this look really good. Alright, tip 75E is if you go into foundations, you can actually go down here to the outer corner extensions, and then you can use these as like a nice little rounder on an edge. If you hold control, because control is our buddy, you can actually go in just a smidgen. Let's go right here, and then we're going to turn this to vertical and go all the way up, and then we'll attach this one on here, go vertical all the way up, and we have ourselves a nice little rounded beam. But wait, there's more. The nice thing about these is, let's say I want to take this one right here. I can make like a little kind of like edge area, whatever you want to call this, so it looks like an even bigger pillar. And I can mess with like different structures, so I can have like a different like color scheme or whatnot. But, you know, just mess around with it, see what you come up with, and it's really great ways of adding depth and adding different design in there too. Like, for example, instead of having this giant wall that's going up right here, what you can do is you can just do like a 2-meter one, and then we can grab our pillar, put this in the center. I can have that going up 4. Then I can grab the 2-meter one as well, put that in the center right here, and now it is a nice beam holding things up. But if I wanted to, I can add another smaller one. You'll see me make these like all the time. I love these because they look really structurally sound, and they're like a really cool, unique design on there. Voila, look at that. Looks amazing, doesn't it? And you can do the same thing with like something like this as well. And then we'll zoom you across. And this is just a nice thicker one, and then what you can do is you can go in and you can change material like you did before, and you can kind of have yourself a nice rounded pillar going on here. Another cool one is, I recommend, is if you go over here, alright, you're going to go over one and down one. And then you're going to do the same thing over here, so you're going to start from the corner, go down one, and then over one, and you're going to start to overlap. And then there we go. Now it kind of makes this like little cut edge over here. And then what you can do is you can make your own individual little pillars. So now we have a 2 on the bottom, then we go to a 4, then we'll do a 2 again. So what I have is a 2 meter, 4 meter, 2 meter, and 4 meter. And then what I can do is I can change this up to something like this. Change this one up to something like this, and then change this one up to something like this. And of course make sure I get the other side so it's all done. And then I have a nice decent sized pillar, and I can add in little foundations to hold it together. And it looks like just a unique design compared to this one right here. Alright, let me show you how to make some stairs. Now the easiest way to do that is take a painted beam or any type of beam, pick where you want to start, click it, and just go 1 meter. Then you're going to grab yourself a frame floor and hit it on the edge. Grab the painted beam again, one thing. And then you're going to grab yourself the frame floor again, and then you're just going to basically work your way up little by little. It gets hard to click it at first, but once you start building on it, then it gets a much easier. And then once you have your frame foundations and all that, frame floors, you can actually take a regular foundation. Usually a 1 meter one works the best, and then you can click it on the side, and you can make yourself some stairs. Now the best part about this is you can actually add in the outer corner extensions, and you can make yourself some rounded stairs if you want something unique and cool. These are really fun if you want something like fancy for like a house build that you did. And then of course you can do the same thing for this. This is actually quite interesting. What you do is you bring over the foundation, then you grab yourself one of these, you hit it on the corner, and then you just turn it diagonal, and you'll have this as a diagonal one going all the way across. And then these will be pretty cool as you go up. And then of course you can put the outer corner extensions on the edges of them. We did the 1 meter one on this, and it just goes up real easily. Oh, you can actually have it sticking out too. That'll be a really annoying trip hazard. But you just have this going all the way up, and then you have yourself some fancy stairs and all that kind of stuff. This is really good for like a nice big building, and then you would put yourself, what is it, a half foundation kind of over here, and then that will just take care of the edges over here, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. And then you can have something going like this all the way up, and it's really fancy, cuts it off, works out really good. Alright, a couple quick tips. If you want to, you can use beams to hold signs. So if we go to, let's see, it's a 9 on my hotbar. We can put signs on here. And if I go to the big one, you can see that it's a sideways sign. The way to get it the right way is if you click on there, hold control, the mighty control, you can rotate the beam, and then when you put it on there, it'll put it on there the correct way. The nice thing is if you hold control and you turn these sideways, you can actually put this stuff on here and you can get yourself some angles. So you can get some fancy angles and everything. You can do this on the top as well. So if I did this going across here, control to go all the way around. Then I can grab one and I can make like a ceiling light, especially with update 8 and luminescence and all that kind of stuff. You can really make some cool lighting going around. Next tip I have for you is, let's say you're making a walking path and then you have to actually turn it, and we'll go for a couple clicks over here, bring you down, have you going across. Unfortunately, this right here is not going to be fun. It doesn't look good, it doesn't look great. What you can do is you can go and grab yourself a 1 meter ramp, and you can put a 1 meter ramp in that gap space. You will have no Z fighting, and you'll be able to walk on it just nice. And the great thing about this is you can actually build upon this. So let's say I did the 2 meter one after that because I want some extra stuff on the side. Or I can even grab this one right here, the double ramp. Come on, double ramp. Have that going across there as well. And the great thing about the double ramp is, let's say I went here, vertical going down, here, vertical going down. I built myself a nice little underway over here. And then I can grab this one over here. And it hides everything in between, and it looks really cool, like a nice little bridge. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a fun video. I really hope those tips helped you out. If you made some really cool builds and you want to let me know about it, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section. Also, if you like this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all those YouTuber stuff. You know, it helps me quit my job and actually do this full time. Because, you know, working 60 hours a week and making videos, it's kind of difficult. So any help you guys could do would be greatly appreciated. Other than that, I have been drawing chaos, and I won't be anymore because I'm out. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good day.